Hello beautiful people, I'm Exa and welcome back to my closet. So for this week's rendition of me doing fun, funky craft projects involving shoes, I will be taking this pair of simple black ankle boots and adding some fancy embroidered butterfly wings to the back of them, so that way they look kind of like the Sophia Webster Chiara heels. So these guys are actually rag and bone heels. So they are real suede with real leather soles, great condition, and shout out to my good friend Patrick for giving them to me. I love them. But we just want to spruce them up a little bit, so I am going to embroider some butterfly wings and put them onto the back. I actually thought of and completed this idea of making an embroidery pattern for butterfly wings, embroidering them and putting them on the back of shoes, before I started my YouTube channel and started recording my strange escapades. So yeah, there's a lot of craft projects laying around that just never got filmed because I only started recording a little less than a year ago. But maybe someday I will go back in and kind of retroactively record some stuff about them because there are some pretty fun ideas out there. But anyway, for this pair of shoes, I got this pair of actual authentic Sophia Webster Chiara butterfly heels, and they didn't have any wings on them. Their wings were literally cut off by some previous owner along with the ankle straps they used to have. I don't know why, and it was really sad and depressing, but I ended up buying them for $30, which if you know how much Sophia Webster Chiara heels go for, that was a steal. So I brought them home and I was like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way to come up with some new wings for these guys to bring them back to their former glory. So what I ended up doing was taking a picture of what the original wings looked like and building my own embroidery pattern for them, then embroidering them on my machine and then putting new rivets in to reattach them. They came out really great, and I've always wanted a pair of the Chiara ankle boots too, in addition to just the sandals. I do live in upstate New York and it's kind of cold for half the year, and I would like to be able to wear butterfly shoes in the winter as well as in the summer without my feet freezing to death or looking like a lunatic. And you know what, I don't care if they are not the official Sophia Webster brand for these ones. I just really like how they look, so we're going to repeat this process and do some black and white wings on the boots. Now, before you click out of this video because you're thinking in your head, I don't have an embroidery machine, I don't know how to embroider, I'm never going to be able to recreate this project, keep watching because I will go over some other techniques that you can do that does not involve having any extra fancy equipment or anything to make your own butterfly heels. So these other ideas, obviously you're not going to be the embroidery to look exactly like the original Sophia Webster Chiara ones are, but you can do your own painting and bedazzling and all sorts of other styles. So just stay tuned and don't worry, this is totally a project that you can complete on your own without any fancy equipment. So I'm not going to go into detail on how I used embroidery software, but there's a lot of tutorials out there if you are interested and have an embroidery machine for making your own patterns. So basically I took the picture of the heels and then just kind of traced the different wing shapes out into their own little polygons, just like this for each wing. And then I did run an outline around them to kind of get that finalized shape together. So there is our finished wing, and if we color code it how we're going to make them, it'll look something kind of like this one. So then I also did the little body piece here as well. So again, just tracing the shapes out to outline the size that I wanted, got half of it, and then I just kind of mirrored it on the other side, so now I have a full piece. So we can go ahead and put these into the embroidery machine and get working on them. So now we have 4 wings done. This is the right facing wing. So now we need to do the left wing. We also need 4 of those as well. So it is now like 1:30 in the morning. I've been working on this all night. I really need to go to bed, but we are done. We have embroidered 8 of our wings, 4 of each side. Here's my just like test one I was working on. And then we have 2 of our pieces for the heels of the shoe. And again, here's one where I was testing and didn't like it and had to adjust. Okay, so supplies for some other wing designs. I have these fake patent leather sheets that we can use. And this was a pack of a whole bunch of different colors, and it was like $10 or maybe $15. So we can use this to cut out and make some layers for wing patterns, and also kind of have like a similar thing in this glittery like foam sheet. So we're going to use that for another idea. So the first thing you want to do is trace out your shape for your wings. You can print a picture and trace that out, or just draw it freehand like I did. When you cut them out, remember you will need 1 piece for each side of each wing, needing 8 pieces total. And you can decorate them however you want. I'm just putting some rhinestones on this set so they have a little bit of shimmer and sparkle, but you can use glitter, you can paint them. It's really endless opportunities for whatever kind of wing design that you want to come up with. So for the other design, I am just freehanding it on the back of the paper, coming up with, whatever design, however big or small that you want to make it. And then you can cut that out and then just flip it over and place it again and trace it to get the other side if you just kind of freehanded it and didn't draw out a pattern at first. So now that we have 1 for each side for our wings, remember we will need 8 pieces total, then you can go ahead and decorate. So for these, I am using that sticky foam board with the sparkle on it, so I'm just tracing out some shapes that I want to put on them, and then just kind of going to place them down however you want to design your wings. So these sticky foam sheets with the glitter on them are really nice because they already have a sticky back, which makes it so easy to apply them, but you can just get regular foam sheets or whatever decorations and just glue them in place as well. And for the last step, you're just going to go ahead and glue your wing halves back together so that way you can have a finished wing on either side. Ta-da! Now you have all of your finished wings. You can go ahead and assemble them onto the shoes following the steps that I used for the rest of my embroidered wings. And remember, your imagination is the only limitation you have for making any kind of fun wing design for your shoes. So depending which style of wings you made, you might need to cut them out at this point, or they could already be cut out. If you were using one of the alternative methods, make sure that you are leaving enough space that you can make your little rivet holes so that way you can attach them onto the shoes. And make sure that you do have 4 of each wing in each direction and 2 of the base pieces to go on the back of the shoe. And now that all of my wings are made and cut out, I'm just going to take one left angled wing and one right angled wing and glue them together on the back sides like this, so that way any direction you're looking at the shoe, it will have the same wing pattern on both sides. So I'm just using rubber cement for this, but you could use E6000, probably some hot glue or super glue, or you could even just stitch them together. It really depends what you are most comfortable with. And I can't guarantee how well that the hot glue will hold up, but I mean, hey, try it, and if it falls apart, you know, you can always just glue it back together later. While that's drying, I'm just going to go ahead and put more glue and attach the back piece directly onto the shoe. Totally same process, just putting in my rubber cement and then placing it on and adjusting it to make sure that it wraps correctly around the shoe and it is all lined up how you want it to be. Now this is totally optional. If you just want wings on the back and you don't want to do this little back piece, that's totally okay too. So the first and more secure way to attach these onto your shoes is going to be using rivets or brads like I have been mentioning throughout this whole video. So here I'm just making sure that I'm cutting out my little rivet attach points so that way they line up evenly with both wings. And then you can go ahead and stab your holes through them. I'm just using an awl, but you could use a little pointy X-Acto knife. You know, any sort of sharp, pokey tool that you have at your disposal will work fine for this. Once I've poked it through the wings, I'm going to line up where I want the wings to be placed on the shoe and poke the same hole through the back of the heel of the shoe that I'm attaching my wings to. Now you will end up with 4 rivets per wing, so 8 per shoe, 16 total. You can go ahead and split your little the little tabs apart there and then put a rivet through and attach it on each side. Now the other option is to just simply glue the wings onto the back of the shoe. So for this style you can go ahead and cut off those little tab points for attaching rivets because we are just going to put glue directly on this little seam on the butterfly wings and just stick them right on. Now I'm going to be using hot glue for this just because it dries really fast and it seems to hold pretty well, but I will definitely update with how the hold is going, you know, a couple months down the road after wearing these for a while, but I think it's going to be pretty secure. So once you just put your glue directly on the edge, you can just press it down right where you want it, hold it for a few seconds to make sure it's angled the direction that you want it to stay in, and you're done. Really quick and really, really easy. Ta-da! One completed pair of ankle boots with adorable little butterfly wings on the back. I think they turned out fantastic. I really love them. They're just so fun and cute and adorable. And it was really easy to make this, and honestly, you know, there's so many opportunities with your imagination to come up with your own crazy wing ideas. So as you can tell, for the boots, I ended up doing the glue method. I will report in later with how that holds up. And then here's the pair of heels, which do have the little rivets. I ended up doing this because I didn't have as much space on the boots or this pattern ends to be able to fit the rivets without it like interfering with the pattern like how this one is, which is probably my fault for the design, but you know, I think they both came out pretty cool and I'm excited. As always, I love to see when you guys recreate my tutorials and make up your own ideas as well. So please send them to me on Instagram, either tag me or send me a message, whatever works. I will try to check everything and make sure I can see whatever you guys are coming up with too. Also, add any questions, comments, or concerns or ideas for future projects that you'd like to see down below. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so, so much for subscribing. I cannot believe how much my channel has grown. It's been less than a year since I started it, and already there are so many of you who have really touched my heart, and I just love getting your feedback and knowing that you guys are enjoying the stuff that I'm producing. So until next time, I hope your day is as beautiful as you are.